Joe Biden promised to bring decency back to the White House. If cocaine's decent, then mission accomplished. It's the most interesting thing to happen at the White House since Lewinsky, and the White House won't even talk about it. The White House won't even tell us who left it. They won't even tell us where they found the blow. They tracked down every person who was near the Capitol on January 6th, but finding out who brought coke into the White House, too hard. The White House can't even get their story straight. First, the coke was in the library. Then they said it was in a cubby in the West Wing. And now we hear it was outside the Situation Room. And first, they tried to blame it on a tourist. Now they're trying to pin it on a construction worker. Listen.
The Situation Room is not in use and has not been in use for months because it is currently under construction. The only people coming in and going out of the sit room in this period have been workers who are getting it ready to go.
When I work around the house, I do a few lines just to keep the energy up. Obviously, the construction workers. He's actually blaming the union guys working on the White House. The blue-collar guys. They're the cokeheads. Nobody's looking at the known crackhead who hangs out at the White House, who we hear is living at the White House. Binder says Hunter has an alibi.
I'm just asking again, can we just say once and for all whether or not the cocaine belonged to the Biden family?
They were not here Friday. They were not here Saturday. They were not here Sunday. They were not even here Monday. They came back on Tuesday. So to ask that question is actually incredibly irresponsible.
All right, so when a crackhead visits the White House and crack shows up, why is it irresponsible to wonder if the crackhead left the crack? It's like when the coronavirus shows up next to a coronavirus lab. We wondered if it came from the lab, and they called that irresponsible too. Well, we did some digging. And it turns out Hunter was at the White House on Friday. The whole family was. Binder lied. Here's Hunter with his little red backpack walking to Marine One after spending the whole day at the White House. What's in the little red backpack? We might never know. The media doesn't want to know. The media says Republicans are pouncing.
His family and Hunter specifically have become his primary political liability in a lot of ways. I mean, look at the cocaine story from the last week and how many Republicans have tried to seize on that
cheapness.
issue.
It's really kind of ugly the way it's been done.
It's kind of it's certainly kind of a tacky play here.
So it's tacky to ask who brought blow into the White House, but it's not tacky to bring blow into the White House? Okay. This is just an attack on common sense. They think we're going to fall for it. Coronavirus didn't come from the lab. Our border's secure. Inflation's transitory. The crack didn't come from the crackhead. That's reckless. Joe's a sweet, wise grandpa, and Hunter's the smartest guy he knows. Maybe the Bidens aren't really all what they're cracked up to be. Chuck Marino is a former Secret Service special agent. So, Chuck, are you buying this line that they're selling?
No, absolutely not. And I think it's beyond reproach for someone like Karine Jean-Pierre to tell news outlets and all Americans that it's irresponsible to be concerned and ask about the fact that cocaine ended up in the White House, the most secure location in the country.
Now, your experience in this neck of the woods, what are you thinking happened here? And what are they not telling us?
Well, I'm thinking that the Secret Service is in a really bad spot here because of this administration that they're dealing with right now. We've got a lot of technology at their disposal around the White House. They've got White House visitor access logs, so they have information to shrink down some type of a time frame and then engage with those that were reported to have been on the White House complex within that designated time frame. What I think is going on here is the Secret Service is doing the right thing by remaining silent as an investigation goes on. But unfortunately, they have Karine Jean-Pierre as their spokesperson, who can do no one justice when she speaks on their behalf. You could be the most innocent person in the country, and if she opens up her mouth coming to your defense, you're going to look more guilty when something started. So they're in a no-win situation here, and hopefully they're going to come out soon with some good news, because if they don't come forth with a suspect, then that means everybody at the White House remains a suspect, and they're going to be accused of being part of some type of cover-up.
We're not saying it's Hunter's coke. We have no idea whose coke it is. But why is it taking so long for this investigation to wrap up?
So my understanding is they're pulling out all the stops on this. The officials I've spoken to at the service tell me that the cocaine and the bag that it was in are still down at the lab. They're doing fingerprint and DNA testing. They're also continuing to review the video surveillance footage, the White House access visitor information, and they're also looking at pass holder information to see what interviews need to be conducted. So let's give them the time to do that. But in the meantime, I don't think it works in anyone's favor to accuse anyone that is concerned that this took place of being irresponsible and being on the wrong side of this. I think just the contrary. We should be outraged that drugs were found in the White House and very concerned with the security at the White House and make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. And if it leads right back to a senior administration official or a family member, then so be it. That's the way it's going to need to be, and the Secret Service is going to need to come out and be the ones to explain this.
All right. And you know, if the cocaine was found at my house or your house, someone would be in a lot of trouble. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely right.
We
right.
don't like different scales of justice for different people. Thank you very much. We really appreciate your expertise.
Thanks, Jesse.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.